little tour of the seedlings that are sprouting for Blooming Boulevards. And you can see they're growing under grow lights. They're Sun Blasters HP5 grow lights of the 6400K. And I've got a 4 shelves. You can see the 4 stainless shelves here. I have a number of shelves that are resin shelves, and I have the 24-inch lights for the 4-foot shelves. Of course, I've got the 48-inch lights. Okay, so a number of the seedlings have begun to germinate, and the one of the earliest is the swamp milkweed, and down below are butterfly milkweeds. And you can see that they have their first true leaves on them. So that's what these little guys are right here. Okay, these little guys that are sticking up. And those are the true leaves. And the larger leaves below are the cotyledon leaves. They're sometimes called the seed leaves. Okay, so that means the domes come off. And if you've got a large seed like milkweed, these seedlings are strong and they're pretty big. You can see that they've discarded their seed casings on the potting soil below them. And but for some seedlings, they're very tiny. I can show you these. It's a heath aster is in the dome, and it's quite small, but this isn't the smallest. The tiniest ones is the blue lobelia, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to move over to the table because some of these seeds could conceivably begin to be thinned. And here's my table. This is my potting table. I'm going to use this for thinning and fertilizing and watering too. Okay, and this is anise hyssop. Anise hyssop are small. When I sowed these seeds, I took a little card with a few little seeds on the card, the stiff card, and just sort of like tapped it onto the cell insert on the surface. But you can see it's hard not to get a bunch of seeds there. Some people mix their seeds with sugar or possibly sand and sprinkle them on that way, but I feel like I have more control over it my way. I just use my fingernail and scrape a few off. Okay, but even a few is a lot because eventually you're just going to want 1, 2, or 3 seedlings, depending on how strong they are, in each cell. Okay, and right now in this one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4. I've got maybe 10 or 12 seedlings. So they're going to have to be removed, some of them, and we're going to remove them in stages. The easiest ones will be taken out first, and they'll be allowed to grow on a little bit longer. And then I'll take a very thin little fine scissors, like embroidery scissors I use. You can get little tiny fine snips and use that, and you cut the stems away from the ones that are crowding out your main ones that you want to save. So at this stage, see if I can do this with one hand. What I would do is grab one little seedling. The easy ones are all the ones on the side, and you just grab the leaves and you pull it straight out, and it's just got a root, and you can pull it straight out, and it doesn't have any branches on its root yet, so they're good. Let's see if I can focus on this guy. There we go. And you can see for this tiny little seedling, it's got a long root. Here it is. Okay. There's a tiny little anise hyssop seedling and its root. And this little seedling is about 4 days old. Okay. So you can see they get busy. You can't tell that that root is happening from the little tiny emerging seedling This has just got the tiniest first true leaves on it. Here we go. Okay, you can't hardly even see them. And you know, it's a newborn little seedling. So what these seedlings are going to do over the next week or two is fill their cells with roots, and then they'll be ready to transplant into the larger cup that they'll be growing in. Okay, and I'll be doing more work with how to thin the seedlings before they're transplanted, because I know it's hard to take away your babies. Okay, and a seedling like this actually could be transplanted at this stage if you avoid damaging the root and damaging the stem, which is the most delicate part of the seedling. You only want to handle it by its leaf. It can regrow a leaf, but it can't regrow a stem. Okay, and if you damage the root, it will be forever stunted. Okay, but you could take this seedling and put it in a pot, and it would grow into a nice little plant. Okay, so that's about it for now. Later on, I'll do some more work with how to transplant seedlings.